Welcome everybody. My name is Rajnikant Patel. I'm a retired executive and author of children's books. I'll be the moderator today. Our format today will be that the speaker will introduce the topic for 15 minutes. I will have question and answer with the speaker for 15 minutes, and then we will have questions from the audience. Let me introduce today's holistic inner science expert, Deepakanandji. Deepakanandji has a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering and has several years of experience in industry. From the very early childhood, had an inclination to be celibate and was in search of answers to the puzzles of everyday life. His answers were obtained when he received self-realization through the gaze of self-realizer, holistic inner scientist Shri M. Patel in 1983. Since then, he has pursued his dream of work selflessly to spread the message of holistic inner science for the upliftment of the entire mankind and answering questions from people how to solve everyday's life puzzles. He has devoted his entire life to studying the holistic inner science and is visiting rural as well as urban areas in India, USA, Canada, UK, Europe, Africa, Australia, New Zealand to spread the understanding of this scientific nature of our daily life. He's an expert on holistic inner science and in interpersonal relationship. He has attended many seminars, conferences, and question and answer sessions. Holistic science gives answers to queries: what is this world? How does it function? How to solve puzzles of the world? How to attain permanent happiness? What are the causes of anger, pride, deceit, and greed? Science of mind, cheat, ego, intellect, and how are karmas charged and discharged. Vyavar Vignan, which is a science of everyday life, etc., etc. Welcome, Deepakanandji.
Thank you, Mr. Patel, for introducing me, and greetings to all in oneness. I'm very glad to be here today with all of you, and thanks for giving me this wonderful opportunity of sharing my experience on holistic science.
Thank you very much, Deepakanandji. Now, before we discuss today's topic, we had some homework. Be mindful of mind, speech, and body activities since they are our great teachers in our life. Keep correcting your mistakes. Is anybody in the audience have any feedback on that? I will share my experience for the last 4 weeks, I would say. One of the things is that my mind, speech, and body has been pretty much having good positive thoughts. But my biggest weaknesses has been when we talk about somebody else, I have the bad habit of trying to say negative or trying to feel I'm superior to the others. And that opinion, I'm trying to work on it and hopefully will make it better as we go along. Anybody else? Deepakanandji, you want to share anything before I introduce the next topic?
Yeah, I can say that, being in this field for a long time, I am also very mindful about my own thought, speech, and activities. So I realized that mistakes are bound to occur. But when you are mindful about your activities, you know your mistakes and you know to work on your mistakes. And what is more important, as it is wonderfully revealed by holistic science, as you decide, it happens. So I correct my mistakes and I decide what I really wanted now. And then I leave it to the nature for it to happen naturally. So that's a wonderful thing of holistic science, that it relieves you from all doership aspects, burden of doing things. You decide firmly and it will take its turn, it will follow naturally.
Oh, excellent, excellent. I hope I'm determined and my resolution, and will give you some feedback someday then. Okay,
Surely, yes, very much.
thank you. Now, today's topic is a very interesting one, karma. This is a very vast topic, and I don't know how we can to talk about it, but we'll try. People say we do karma. Then why are there ups and downs in life if you are the doer? I made profit, but when there is loss, I blame others or luck. Where does luck come from? Where does fate, Kismat, Takdir all come from? Many times we say, God chose me to do this. Then what is karma? Is that what karma, what we are doing is karma? How are karmas charged and discharged? What is Prarabdh and Purusharth as we learn from our scriptures? I studied, I did job, I raised family. Are these all Purusharths? I made a great effort to achieve all these great things in my life. So what is all this stuff? What is the basis of all this stuff? Holistic scientist says every person needs to know where he came from, what he's doing now, and where he's going to go. So these are all the questions that crop up now. So with that one, Deepakanandji, if you can introduce the topic and then follow it up with questions.
Thank you for the good coverage. Now, let us first understand how does the dictionary explains or defines karma. As regards to Hinduism and Buddhism, they say that totality of a person's actions and conduct during successive incarnations regarded as causally influencing his or her destiny. So what was performed previously, it affects our life now, today. And it is like the principle of retributive justice determining a person's state of life and the state of his or her incarnation as effect of the past deeds. Fate and destiny resulting from one's previous action. And it also says that it is the doctrine of inevitable consequences. And in Sanskrit, it is said karma means action or effect from what one does. So here, the holistic scientist, Mr. E.M. Patel, we call Tata Bhagwan, has given a very clear demarcation between karma and its effects. Although people believe what they do is karma, but here the holistic scientist has very nicely explained karma relates to causes, whereas the activities or actions, what we see with our, or what we feel through our senses, five senses, is result or karmic effects, we can say as karma phal, effects of karma. So how do we understand karma? What all we do is karma? It said no. What we do, that is all our life, body, self actions are effects of the past karmas as karmic effects only. And further, if we try to understand then how are karmas charged and how they get discharged. Here, karmas charged, it means like causing of new karmas. When the new karmas are caused, it is called karmas get charged. And the word as karmas discharge means effects of the previously charged karma. It is called karma phal or fruit of the karma. In fact, all our inner unnoticed hidden feelings that keep going on within us while performing any action, along with our self-ignorance, not knowing who am I, this situation compulsorily causes new karmas, either of meritorious type or punya, where things happen as per our desires, or of sinful nature, we call as pap, where everything happens against our desires. To understand, as you have said, that it's a very vast subject. So to begin with, we can break into 2-3 sections. So we can say that there are basically two types of karmas. One is physical or stool, and the other one is subtle or sukshma karma. Those performed by our body and speech, they are physical karmas. They give results, effects in the same life. So it is like the activities, although activities itself is karmic effect, but the effect has its own effect. So it is called physical karma, which has its own effect. Whereas those feelings inside, they cause subtle karma, and they give result in future lives, minimum in the very next life. And as per Dada Bhagwan's holistic science, which is Vitrag Vignan as it is, so we can say a holistic science as it is, he has revealed the secret of cause of happening in a very subtle way, that why at all does anything happen in the world. And he said only scientific circumstantial evidences is the secret cause of every happening in the world. It means for anything to happen, individual causes simply come together naturally in a particular order as evidences in regards to matter, in regards to place, in regards to time, in regards to desire and life, that a collective situation occurs. What is said, dravya, kshetra, kal, bhav, and bhav. That is our existence today. Collectively, things happen. When all these evidences come together, things happen. So the karma as such is a very complicated thing, because so many things come together. There are so many things we cannot see, feel through our senses, but they contribute for things to happen. And here, the holistic scientist has nicely aphorized this whole karma situation in a following revelation. An incident has so many causes, but an accident has too many causes. What it means? So many causes come together for any happening. But for an accident to happen, which is also an incident only, but a complicated incident where too many causes come together and boom, explosion occurs. So there are visible causes that are clearly obvious, that come together naturally along with other invisible subtle causes in a very scientific manner, for which, anything to happen. And to convey this very fact of scientific circumstantial evidences, the holistic scientist has coined a word, Vyavasthit Shakti, in his colloquial mother tongue Gujarati, which means a well-arranged, orderly, systematic power of nature. A well-arranged, orderly, systematic power of nature, cosmic power, that is responsible for every happening in the universe. Also, it is said that this power doesn't work of its own. Here, whatever projections human does, they go and it acts as a feed into the nature's computer system, this power system. And in turn, this the nature systematically operates everything in this world. And that's how it is responsible for every happening in the universe. A wonderful thing is there, even an apparently obvious worldly chaos, what humans or what we treat as chaos, is truly a perfect, orderly happening as per holistic science. And so, in the scheme of Mother Nature, let us try to see now how karmas are charged. Activity of body self uh, is actually destiny or fate. It is karmic effect or karma phal. Is quite natural for every living being, whether it is humans, plant, animal, angels, or hellish being. But it is only in the human form, because of its fully developed mind and intellect, that egoism and doership projections occur, and that too it happens very intensely in the humans of the land of karma. So those people who live in the karma bhumi, that is the eastern continent, who they believe in reincarnation, they believe in rebirth, and so they are like nirashrit. They challenge nature in every aspect and take the power in their own hands, and independently they go against the nature. That's what it means by nirashrit. So they are not dependent on the nature. They always challenge nature and try to go against them, against the nature. Now, this doesn't happen that seriously in the humans of the land of sensual pleasures. So they are called Bhog Bhumi lives, who are ashrit. They live naturally like dependent children of the nature. So they cause mild new karmas, making them wander in the four life forms with mild suffering. Those people, they do intense karmas, so their suffering is also intense. Now, beings of other three life forms, that is plant, angels, and animals, and hellish life, they have to simply pass through karmic suffering caused in the human form. They cannot charge new karmas because they lack this egoism and projection. They cannot project. Now, the humans of the land of karma, while passing through the sufferings of their karmic effects, due to self ignorance, they egoistically become sufferer, ending up in wild doership projections, causing intense new karmas, making them wander in the four life forms. Humans, we'll just try to understand quickly. Humans who live their lives in tension and worries, they hurt themselves and they end up causing karmas which take them to plant or animal, which is of mild suffering. Humans who believe and who live their lives violently, hurting others for their own happiness, end up in causing karmas uh, of hellish lives, of strong to intense suffering. It is said that there are 7 levels of hell. Now, depending on the intensity of the feelings to hurt others, they get born in any of the 7 levels. The level 1 is of least suffering, and level 7 is of maximum suffering. Now, humans who live their lives obliging others or giving away even their own happiness to others end up causing karmas of angelic lives, and they end up enjoying uninterrupted happiness. Now, depending on the intensity of their uh, feelings to help or give happiness to others, they get born in any of the 12 levels of angels. Higher the level of angel, higher is their happiness. The lifespan in the angelic form is very long. So it's like they live for 100,000 years. Now, humans who live their lives with perfect morality, enjoying everything that belongs to them, never trespassing into others' territories, end up causing karmas of divine human form. The human form here we have said as divine because it is only in human form that you have power of causing new karmas of your own choice through right projections. Not only that, but if you have self-realization, you can even balance and nullify all your karmas to get liberated to moksha and attain nirvana. So free from birth, death cycle. Further, you asked about Prarabdh and Purusharth. Now, Prarabdh means destiny, and Purusharth means your free will. Uh, it is an understanding that people believe that you studied, you did job, you raised your family, made great efforts to achieve everything you have in your life today. All these are prarabdha or your destiny. What it means, karmic effects of the past, what you had done, the credit you had earned is giving you back. Everything you do that is visible through your senses and also can be seen by others, where you make use of your mind, speech, and body is your destiny. And let us understand Purusharth or free will, it cannot be seen. It is not visible to anyone. Without self-realization, it is your inner feelings, what you say is bhav, your inner doership projection, which is your Purusharth, that is free will. And that would cause new karmas, new destiny. And in this regard, it is also said, you are the maker of your destiny. You decide for yourself, and that's how you make your own destiny. In fact, whatever you come across today is result of the previous decisions made by you. After self-realization, perceiving, observing your body self-activities, using the knowledge power of your pure soul, that is perceiving your naturally discharging prarabdha or your destiny is your real Purusharth. What we talked previously without self-realization becomes your relative Purusharth, worldly Purusharth. And this is your real Purusharth where you perceive all the activities of your prarabdha. So true Purusharth or real Purusharth is one which perceives the prarabdha, that is the destiny. This ultimately would free you from all karmas, making you absolute, attaining omniscient state, finally attaining nirvana. Holistic scientist says that every person needs to know, as you have said, where he came from, what he is doing, and where he will be going. Here, holistic science has very nicely revealed with great generosity everything that prevails in this universe. It has revealed everything. It has answers to every question. First and foremost, your body is the universe. So if you want to know the universe, you understand the body, you will know the universe. So there is no need to go around wandering around in the universe, what is this, what is that. Everything you find outside in the universe is there within your body. So it's like it has drastically simplified our search, our investigation, our research, that if you want to do something, your experiment table is your body itself. Your apparatus, all you have to do is understand your body. You possess infinite knowledge and vision because you have the all-knowing power within you, that of the pure soul, because of which you are living. This will help you understand, know, and experience your body, that is the universe. Further, Past, whatever has happened is nothing but it was like a nightmare and it has gone forever. What you must do or how you handle the past, learn the lessons of your life and correct yourself and make all necessary resolutions for your own happiness, freedom, and oneness. Future remains future forever, and it is in the hands of the cosmic power of Vyavasthit Shakti, that is the systematic power of nature that governs every living form. So you don't have to carry the burden and tension what is going to happen tomorrow, because it further explains here present today now is the wonderful gift of nature what you have, and with the help of the understanding of holistic science you must learn to handle all your life situations amicably in a very balanced and uh, happiest way to enjoy the bliss and freedom of your pure soul self, who you really are, and it is here and now. So, this is how holistic science has complete answers to everything. And if you look at around your surrounding, it is said the world around you is your photograph. So, in other words, you can say the world around you is the mirror. You look into the mirror and you will know who you are, what you are, and from that you can make your resolutions, make yourself a perfect person so that you experience bliss and happiness and freedom in every situation of your life. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Like I said, it's a very broad, a lot of questions arise. I'm sure there are a lot of questions in the audience. And it was good introduction. Now, let me understand something. Uh, what,
Sure.
what I hear you say is that whatever I'm doing is my discharge, which was charged previously. So I think that is very easy to understand. And it is a relative things that is happening in my life. But now, please explain with examples the charging process and the science behind the charge. For example, I have two examples. Okay, one thing, I am dealing with somebody. Okay, and then I have bad thoughts in my mind about that person, and I don't speak up. Okay, that's one scenario. Okay, and the second scenario is, I am in a situation where somebody tells me, "Hey, you are an idiot," and I immediately react and trying to uh, tell him, first thing, trying to just say, "Hey, I'm not an idiot," blah blah blah, and then trying to have a conversation with him and have bad taste in my mind as well as his best. So now, with these two scenarios, how does charging for the future occur?
Okay, let us take the first scenario in which you are very much upset inside, but nothing is getting expressed outside. So, outside, definitely, we know that, oh, you are so nice. So, as we have said previously, that the thing what is done at bodily level or speech level, they cause physical karma and it has its effect in the same life. People will praise you, oh, Mr. Patel, you are great, you are so decent, you are so polite, and all that, you are so courteous, you are so considerate, and all that. But that is going to end your story in this life. But what went on inside your mind, that is going to reflect and get realized, get affected out in the future lives, in the future incarnation, what they say. So, if you are mindful about your body, speech, and mind, then of course, outside you have performed very well because you didn't do anything wrong or you didn't hurt the other person. But what went on inside within you, because you are mindful, you will immediately correct from inside, hey, that is wrong because I'm going to mess up my future life.
Okay.
So that's how I correct myself. In the second scenario, outside, everything is done, right? So inside, can you just repeat the scenario just
Yeah,
to make it the better?
outside was then somebody calls me I'm idiot, so I try to fight back and try to convince him it's not bad. And eventually, in this conversation, in the end, there's bad taste in my mind, internal mind, and also I'm sure there's a bad taste on the other guy's mind.
Okay,
Which
okay, okay, okay.
is not
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. So in that difficult situation, you responded negatively,
yes,
but you were mindful about what you did outside. So the first impression is whatever is there inside gets reflected outside. Because everything what is done or what is spoken outside, a blueprint or the image is there in our mind. So you know that that was wrong, but it happened spontaneously. So it was like you had practically no control.
right.
So now what you have, when you free yourself, when you settle down, then you recall the mistake that was committed and correct yourself from inside. So what will happen? Nobody knows what you have done inside. For your inner feelings, what you did, nobody knows. So people will talk negative about how you deal with others. He's very short tempered, he's not courteous. Eh, all these negative things will spread in the world. So here itself, it is so very clear that whatever we do at bodily level and speech level, the results are affected in the same life. But what you do in at the inner feelings level, mind level, although that is not visible, nobody knows what you did inside, but those things will definitely reflect in the future.
So does that mean, suppose, afterwards I had very bad taste about that person, and in my mind, I talked very bad thing about the mind. Okay, so that is, I charged it, but then if I'm mindful 5 minutes later, and if I do repentance, is that charge vanishes, or then my charge carries for the
Let us see. You know, when we put water in the refrigerator, that is in the deep freezer to make it ice, then it doesn't become ice immediately.
no.
There is a minimum time required. If you bring out that crate before that, then you will not find ice. You'll find the same water. So
Right.
here also, it is said that if 8 minutes are passed and you don't correct, then there is a possibility of having the effects of your thoughts. So before that, if you correct, then the effects are nullified.
Oh, that is
And
right.
it is said if it remains for 1 hour, then you have to face the consequences. It is definitely going to happen.
This is very good
But
example because that
but
ice which is tall, then it melts in your future life. So this is a very good example we have to keep in mind.
one more thing, because you are living, you are breathing, before you pass away, if you recall some of your major mistakes or before passing away, before sleeping from this life, if you recall those mistakes and correct them, then the intensity of its effects drastically reduces. Although they are caused, The effects are going to come, but the intensity of the effect will mellow down drastically.
Very good. This is a good thing.
So that is the importance of retrospection, correction, and resolution.
Yeah, we'll take, hold on, we'll take questions. I have a couple of more questions, then we'll open
Surely,
up
yes.
to the audience, okay?
Yeah,
Please,
definitely.
audience, hold on. So now there's a confusion going on in my mind that, you know, you talked about Purusharth, Prarabdh and Purusharth, charge and discharge, seeds and fruits, okay? So that goes on and on. So then what is moksha, or what is self-realization, or what is nirvana?
Okay, let us try to understand that. With the help of the understanding of holistic science, which has so nicely revealed our life process, we can understand the true or real Purusharth, that is our free will of self-awareness, mindfulness. This will help you get away with all your prarabdh, that is your destiny, ups or downs, whatever it is. With the help of the real Purusharth, the free will of self-awareness, mindfulness, it will help you highlight and know all your mistakes, making you free from causing new karmas and attain liberation, that is freedom from all karmas, and attain nirvana.
Okay, thank you. Now I have one question before we open to the audience. And then,
Sure.
so with all this going on, really the key question is, what is the goal for human beings? Because now, you know, we have Purusharth, we have Prarabdha, we have Moksha. And so what is the real uh, goal of life of human beings?
Right. Now see, primary goal of every living being, to that matter, and so humans also, they are seeking happiness. We all know that. Now, it's not just happiness, they are looking for lasting happiness. Happiness will last forever. Now, because we are after the happiness achieved through our five senses, you can say, like, we are all after sensual happiness that is experienced through our five senses. They are circumstantial, based on situations. Situations come and go. So naturally, the source of our happiness is outside, where things arrive and things depart. So along with that, our happiness arrives and happiness departs. So the ultimate goal of human life is to look for happiness that never goes. And that can happen only when you know who you are really. That is through self-realization, which is easily possible with the understanding of holistic science, which says, know your true self as pure soul who you are, and enjoy your freedom, bliss, and oneness with all. So it is like, in our body, there is a portion which does all activities. Activity of our body, activity of our speech, activity of our mind, activity of our intellect, activity of our reflective consciousness, activity of our egoism. Now, none of these have power to know. None of these faculties have any power to know. Someone can say that intellect has power to understand, evaluate, but that is conditional. Again, it is karmic effect. Because as it is defined by holistic science, intellect is same light of pure soul, but through the medium of egoism. And egoism is karmic. So the light of intellect will also be coming. It will be conditional. It is not unconditional. It's not pure light. So if you have any happiness through these activities, so then it's going to be temporary. And the other faculty is of knowing, which is by virtue of the pure soul, eternal element within us, eternal entity. So we are living in between. Sometimes we claim, I did, I spoke, I'm thinking, I like, I don't like. And at other times we say, oh, I know. Now when we say, I know, it is the faculty of the pure soul. And when I say, I do, it is the faculty of the body self, collectively of mind, speech, body, intellect, reflective consciousness, and ego, which doesn't have power to know at all. So which one is correct? If I take pride or do egoism of this activity part, then I wander in the four life forms. But if I stick on to knowing part, knowing side, that is pure soul side, then I will be freed from all my wandering. So this is how our goal should be, to know myself as pure soul, who I am really. And this will help me enjoy freedom from all activities, because I will perceive all activities being performed through the systematic power of nature, that is cosmic power of Vyavasthi Shakti. And with that, I will experience bliss, freedom from all results, and then eventually experience oneness with all.
Well, that was a very good explanation. I have still many questions, but I will open up some questions from the audience. And I
Sure.
think Truptaben had a question, so go ahead, Truptaben.
My question is that whenever there is a conversation between two people, like say between my husband Vinod and myself, like, you know, we are sitting and we are having a conversation and we are talking to each other, and we agree sometimes, we disagree sometimes. And so when we are, is this brought to us, this circumstantial evidence brings this this conversation? Is it due to Vyavasthi Shakti that it has come up?
Yes, that is true. But let us take the example that you are working in a company and your boss tells you to do certain things. Do you agree or you disagree? What is it? Boss is always right? What is the feeling you have?
Well, in order to keep the job, I have to do what the boss says. Right.
So,
I get your point. I get your point.
So it is said that in order to keep the job, you accept whatever your boss tells you. So in order to keep the relation, you have to accept whatever your husband tells you to do or says. So you have that, the right to express yourself, to communicate,
yeah, that's
to share your views. But finally, what you say is right. I'll accept it.
Oh, okay.
Is it going to hurt you? Is it going to harm you?
It is. I think, you know, in conversations, the ego does come up, and then I forget that, you know, that he's a pure soul and I am the pure soul also. That, you know, that I am the drashta and I am watching what Tripta is doing. And you know what? In my conversations with Vinod today, when we were having, it was coming in. Like when I was trying to raise my voice to emphasize that I'm right or something, you know, I was getting that inner feeling that my inner self is saying, you know, you're not supposed to speak like this. You know, I am, while I'm talking to him, I'm getting that inner voice telling me that, you know what, this is not right. You should not be saying like this. Okay. And but my ego kept on increasing. I have to work on this. My ego kept on saying, like I wanted to still prove that I am right. And in the end, I said, I compromise, the way we will do things. And what I'm trying to say is, and then after our conversation was over, normally, like we would be upset with each other or something, but it didn't happen today. After the conversation was over, it was as if nothing happened. I was normal. I say, he's the pure soul. It happened. Let's do the work together, things like that. And I kept on saying, this thing kept coming, he's a pure soul. I'm a pure soul. I'm watching what happened, and I'm asking for forgiveness in my heart, what I should be doing, I should be asking for forgiveness personally and saying, that, I said these things, all these things that are happening to me after I'm listening to satsang. What I'm trying to say is, that I'm getting that inner voice telling me right then and there while I'm doing it, don't do this.
You're right. So gradually, this thing will happen, that while the situation is or conversation is going on, you will be mindful about what is going on within yourself. Your ego is popping up, doesn't want to accepting and want to fight back. But then there and then that correction will happen and you will change. So that is very good, because see, you are using the knowing power of the pure soul, because the power of pure soul, what does it do? It illuminates every happening. It illuminates your mind, speech, body, and your husband, whom you are dealing, his speech and actions, basically, because you can't read the other person's mind, but other person's mind is read through his speech. So whenever such a thing comes up, you realize, oh, this is wrong, no, I should not. So that's how at the end of the conversation, you've already done your correction part inside. So at the end of the conversation, you're okay.
Right.
So
and like after the whole incident, everything, there is no bad feeling or anything. I don't have anything in my mind, that like I used to have before.
Yeah,
and
so it is like you may end up that, okay, now I will retaliate. I will play my part when the situation comes. But no, here you have realized your mistake, you corrected the mistake. So at the end of the situation itself, you are okay.
Right.
So that is very good.
And asking your Vyavasthi Shakti to give me more strength, give me
That's true. That is the purpose, or that's how you have to use the holistic science. The science says that you are the absolute knower inside. There is no faculty outside, and whatever you come across in the world is your reflection.
Right.
So the world is the mirror for you. So the best mirror is your own spouse. That is for you. Your husband is your mirror, and for him, you are the mirror. But you can't say that I'm your mirror.
Right.
You have to say that you are my mirror. And that you have to say inside, understand inside. So then you will not have any problem.
Right. And the other point that you taught me, like today, like we do worry about, what will happen tomorrow. But you emphasize today that don't worry what's going to happen tomorrow. Just live in the present moment, right?
The reason is, on its face value, everything that is going to happen in future will be done by the systematic power of nature. That is Vyavasthit Shakti.
Right.
That is the cosmic power is going to do that. And today, when I'm performing well through amicable handling, every situation, every individual, so that's how it is going to help me. When your present moment is perfect, the future, which is result or effect of the present only, when your present is perfect, your future is going to be perfect.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Deepakanandji. Okay.
You're
Any,
welcome.
anybody has question?
Hi, Amit. Where are you?
Okay, Vidyanji, you have to unmute.
Yeah, I did that. Anybody has question?
Yes, I wanted to follow up on what you said earlier, and this is something new to me. I had never heard that before. You said that when something happens, you gave that example of ice and water. So for 8 minutes, if you don't correct yourself, then the effect will come. Can you elucidate on that more? My understanding was that whenever you remember, if you correct it, the effect goes away. So can you elucidate on that part a little bit more, please?
I give you an example. During Mahavir Bhagwan time, King Shrenik had committed some mistake, due to which he had to go, I mean, he would be getting one life of hell. So the king asked Lord that you are having absolute power, you have everything, you can do anything. Then why can't you change my punishment of going to hell? Then he said that it has taken place. It is not in my capacity that I can reverse that or even change that. But still he said that, and he gave 4 solutions, that you try these 4, if things happen, then understand that you will be able to evade your hell punishment. So I'll just give you one example. He said that there is a butcher in your kingdom. So tell him that you should not cut any animal, butcher any animal today, 24 hours. So see, that butcher's business job is butcher animals and sell them. So he said, oh, no problem. I'm the king, and whatever I order, my people have to follow whatever I say, tell them to do. But still, he said that if I leave him, he can commit that mistake. So he takes away he sent his soldiers and hangs him in the well, in the middle of the well, where he cannot do anything, upside down. So how is he going to cut any animal? So after 24 hours, he was brought outside and he said, I did it. I didn't allow him to kill any animal. But then he said that, see, that is my business. That is what I do all day round. So you put me upside down. So what I did, I imagined in my mind. I drew the picture in the water, and through my feelings, I cut the animal. Did you get that? Although physically he haven't done it, but mentally he continued doing that. So what was the idea? Lord said that whatever is caused, no agency in this world can reverse it. But because of your understanding of the science of the holistic science, that is the Vitrag Vigna, even in the situation of the hell, that is suffering of the hell, you will experience peace and bliss inside. The outside results cannot be changed, but because of the inner understanding, it will not touch you. Did you understand? And that is the idea, that when we do worship, Dada Bhagwana Sim Jai Jai Karo, is Dada said that you do it for minimum 8 minutes, and for full result, do it for 1 hour. You understand?
No, but my, say for example, if I get a negative thought about somebody, right? And my understanding was that later on, whenever you remember, if you correct it, then the effect will not come. But if I understood you correctly, you said that if I correct it myself within 8 minutes, then the effect will not come. But if I don't correct myself for 8 minutes, then the effect will come. I can only dilute it by
Okay.
correction. So that
Let
part
us try to understand that further.
Mhm.
If thoughts come and go, they cannot cause any effect. If that thought remains for 8 minutes, consistently, non-stop, that is where the danger of sowing a cause or sowing a seed take place. Did you understand?
So
It
if
should
I,
remain, those thoughts of hurting others or those negative thoughts should remain for 8 consistent minutes, which never happens. If I just get a thought and it just go away, and I recollect that after 2 hours or 2 days or 2 months, and I do, it was not cause itself. Did you understand? For it to have a cause, it should remain consistently for 8 minutes.
so if it remains for 8 minutes, when I remember it later on, can I not still correct it?
You can correct, but then the effect cannot be reversed. But the effect, the intensity of the effect will drastically change.
Mhm. So what you're saying is generally the same thought will not persist for 8 minutes.
That's what you check yourself.
Mhm.
They just come and go. So we don't have to worry about that. Those thoughts will continuously remains within us for a long time. That is where you have to be cautious. Because first of all, when we understand this science itself, that nobody in this world can hurt me or even help me. It is my reflection. So when I understand that those spontaneous thoughts will come, but they will not last long. Because immediately this understanding will cover and give the answer, so you have no problem.
But sometimes when the intensity is very strong, it seems like that negativity goes on for a long time.
For a long time, yes, but still you are breathing, you are living, and if you recall them before sleeping forever, you are correcting it to a great extent.
Okay.
I give you an example. Lord Mahavir, in his previous life, it is said that while he was a king, and he was like Lord Krishna, Vasudeva, uh, a, 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 a crime was committed by him wherein he punishes his bedside maid because he instructed him to do something to stop the music after he sleeps. But because he got engrossed in the music, he forgot to stop the music, to stop the musician. And when he woke up, he said, "You didn't follow my orders. Okay, you were very much, you want to listen to the music. Then I will see that you will not listen to music all your life." So he punishes him pouring hot boiling lead into his ears. What had happened, that maid servant died immediately. But after he died, he felt sorry about it. Oh, I should not have done that. Did you understand? Just that little repentance, what he did and what Lord Mahavira got is nothing. He was just pierced by those weeds in his ears. And what he had poured was hot boiling lead into that guy's ears, due to which the guy dies. Did you understand? This is the effect of repentance. So when you feel sorry, when you repent for your mistakes, then the effect of the uh, result changes drastically. The intensity changes drastically. And that is why it is suggested that you must correct your mistakes, although committed. But till you are breathing, till you are alive, you have those things in your hands. Make use of that and correct them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. There's a
Welcome.
very quick question because we are almost to the time. But does that mean
Okay.
what I am getting today, suffering, let's say, forget about the happiness, suffering. So all the suffering I am getting, I was engrossed for more than 8 minutes that I'm getting such a suffering from the past.
Come again?
The suffering I'm getting today.
Okay.
Is it because I was engrossed in those thoughts for more than 8 minutes in the past?
Of course.
Okay.
Without that, without a cause, there cannot be any effect.
No, I'm talking about 8 minutes.
I give you an example. You sow a seed, and before it sprouts, you bring it out. You dig it and you bring it out. What is going to happen? Nothing. But if you put there, you water it, and then when it sprouts, now you can't do anything.
So that's the watering part, which we need to be very careful. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'll summarize it. Please think about the homework, and then we talked about Prarabdh and Purusharth. What we are getting today is the fruits, and which we planted in the past, and what we are planting today for the future is a Purusharth. We talked about stool and subtle karmas, different kinds of karmas that may lead to 4 different states of lives in the future. We talked about past, present, future, how to remain in them. And you talked about basically some route for moksha, happiness as our goal. So with that, if you can give us a homework for the next time, go ahead, Swami.
Okay. I would say that, you know, we all want to be happy, but we conveniently ignore our mind, speech, and body activities, although they are hurtful to others, but we don't do that. So I believe we should continue being mindful about our mind, speech, and body actions. So, because what we do, what we say, we are going to get in the same in this life itself. But what goes on in our mind, we must be mindful and keep correcting them. It's very important for us to correct them for our own happiness today. So let us be mindful and further do our investigation and observation and keep correcting ourselves. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much. That brings
Thank you so much.
our end of the talk show. And you know, one thing I would leave with the audience, that something you said in your talk, that you need to know yourself. So hopefully the next topic will talk about the process of knowing ourselves, or in this very fast world of our activities we are going through that. Okay, thank you
Surely, yes.
for attending. Any last parting words, Deepakanandji?
I would just say thank you so much for giving me this great opportunity of spending time with you, sharing my experience. Thank you. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you very much.